Back in 1895, Grace Church was born. I like to think we look pretty good for being 125 years old. And from day one, we've been playing offense and not defense. Playing defense means you hunker down, you shrink back, you let the other guy make the first move and then see what happens. Well, we've always been on offense. We've built buildings, we've moved locations, we've changed the language of our services, launched ministries, changed methods and worship styles. We became multi-site, we started nonprofits, we've partnered with indigenous churches all over the world. And why? Because we want to shine the light of Christ brightly and we want to play offense. Jesus was radically focused on those who are far from God, and we think we should probably, do what Jesus did. And so over the past couple of decades, we've used a series of vision cycles to organize and energize our efforts. We choose a handful of initiatives that we believe God has led us to pursue. We set out a time frame, 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. We raise some money and then we chase them down. And God has always come through, many times in supernatural ways. Well, this time in March 2018, with the help of hundreds of you who participated in the vision creation process, we launched the Transform 1-8 vision. It was an ambitious vision, some huge goals and projects. We play offense, remember? And we set our most ambitious funding goal ever of $2.3 million. And we've been chasing hard ever since. And now we're here with just over a year to go, and we'll be officially concluding this initiative in August of 2021. And I wanted to give you we've got a year to go update. There's a lot more information that you can look through at the whoisgrace.com/transform website. You'll find a helpful online brochure there that tells you the whole Transform story. I'll summarize it briefly here in a moment. But obviously COVID-19 has thrown a bit of a wrench into our progress. But I'm still confident that we'll look back years from now and see how God used it to accomplish his purposes. And so one of the first questions we've been wrestling with is, should we extend Transform for another year beyond 2021 because of the disruption that we're in now? And we've decided to press on with the original timeline. That even if it means adjusting some of our measures and outcomes, we think it's best to stay on track and to see what God does. And so let me give you a brief synopsis and then an update. The first thing we recognized in 2018 is that we can't build an exceptional church without continuing to build exceptional people. And so the starting place for this vision was, you. And we thought there would be collective energy that would come before God, as we come before God and say, transform me so I can transform others. That's the umbrella statement that we're putting over this whole vision. Transforming communities through transformed lives. And so no matter what little community you find yourself in, your family, your neighborhood, your co-workers, your workout buddies, that you will be a change agent for good because you're being changed yourself. And we recognize that every single person has been blessed with 3 key tools that God would use to change the world through you. Every single one of us has these 3 resources at our disposal. You have a story and a calling and your finances. And we said the target where we want to aim those is these 4 concentric circles from Acts 1:8. That's why it's called Transform 1-8. We envision transformation happening in your relationships, your site, our city, and our world. And so the inner circle is your relationships. Some of our goals here were to help you move your faith from weekly to daily. And so we've poured time and resource into creating fantastic daily study resources to help your faith walk. These resources go along with the sermons each week. And during COVID-19, we've been able to leverage Facebook Live to help engage with you and encourage you every day of the week. Over the past 2 years, we've had multiple teaching series and training opportunities to help you to nurture your relationships. We brought in Dave Runyon, the author of The Art of Neighboring, to provide training about neighboring. We've launched a 333 campaign to help us pray for 3 friends for 3 minutes at 3 o'clock every day. One of the things we're doing in the summer of 2020 is offering our services on 3 local TV stations each Sunday. This is meant to be an easy tool to help you reach that circle, your relationship, by just providing an easy inviter opportunity for your friends to check out church from a safe distance. Also this summer, we're going to be having Dan White, the author of the great book, Love Over Fear, coming to Grace to talk about how to have meaningful and redemptive conversations during an age of divisiveness. These are all an effort to help you to transform that inner circle, the people closest to you. We're able to do a church-wide survey at the beginning of this effort, and we'll do another one at the end to be able to track individual progress on this front. So the second circle, it represents your site, and we set out with a goal to double our sites. We invested the first money of the campaign into Grace Girard and improving the vibe and the furniture and the atmosphere in the high school where we meet. We also upgraded the worship equipment and experience, but the main focus of this goal was to create more room at Grace Harbor Creek. So we spent $1 million from Transform to make that project a reality. Aaron and our teams built an amazing building and parking lots, and we got to be in it for a grand opening in a few weeks. And then the curse of 2020 hit. But in that span, we saw our highest non-holiday weekend attendance ever at 2,108 people. And listen, despite the new challenges we're facing right now, we still believe that God is expanding His reach at our sites. And it's hard to measure everything exactly. How many screens, how many in person, how many TV. But guys, this very well could be God's plan to double the reach of our sites. We never saw it coming this way, but it could be what He's doing. I mean, just one data point from this past Easter, using some industry standard metrics for measuring views and devices. We're estimating nearly 20,000 people watched our Easter services this past year across all devices. Our previous high when we were in our own buildings was, around 3,000. So God is still moving through all of this. The third circle is our city, and in addition to the amazing work Serveri's doing and the great Be the Church efforts during the 2020 timeframe, our major initiative here has been the renovation of our original building at 7th and Holland, which is being transformed into the Grace Leadership Institute. The exterior renovation is done, and we'll be beginning work on the inside soon. We probably won't have a grand opening there until 2021, but in the meantime, our team has been working on accreditation and partnerships with both undergraduate and graduate programs. And so we'll be able to offer formal leadership and theological training right here in Erie, as well as offering world-class ministry instruction for volunteers at Grace, at volunteers at our inner city churches, as well as volunteers throughout the whole region. Guys, this transformed vision will have a ripple effect for generations to come as we participate in training up the next generation of spiritual leaders. Finally, our world. One of the things that Transform has done is to come alongside our global church partners in the DR and in Haiti and Japan. And a portion of all money given to Transform will go to fund major initiatives in those churches. In the Dominican, for example, we were able to provide a major boost to the construction of their new church building. In Haiti, it's taken on more of a relief effort during COVID as the effects of not gathering has had a major effect on our brothers and sisters in Haiti. The closure of their borders has forced a scarcity there that hasn't been felt for many years. And so we've been sending a series of relief packages for our church in Haiti to distribute to their congregation, including food and supplies during this time. That has literally been a lifeline to them. Well, one of our other goals in this circle has been slowed down because it's the desire to have every person at our church to be a goer, a sender, or a sponsor to one of our global partners. But because schools have been closed and travel has been halted, we're in a bit of a holding pattern here. But there's incredible work being done. I said at the beginning that the price tag on all of these vision initiatives was $2.3 million, our biggest ask ever. And for the first time in our history, we hit our goal and more in pledges the first time around. And right now, as we sit just over a year away from completion, we've received just over $1.8 million of that pledged amount, which has actually come in. It's amazing. It's allowed us to complete Grace Harbor Creek and to help our global partners and the like. And I'm asking you to help us get across the finish line. With new pledges and the completion of existing pledges, we believe that we're going to finish strong and complete these projects that will have generational impact in our area. Now, I'm a firm believer in a very straightforward process when it comes to financial asks. I think my job is to tell you, here's the goal, here's what God's up to, and now you go talk to God, and whatever He says, you do it, even if it's a stretch. And Kim and I have been most blessed when we've been stretched financially. I just think God honors that level of faithfulness to His work. On the other hand, don't do something that He doesn't tell you to do, but ask Him and then listen and then obey. And I know it's a weird and uncertain time right now, but God honors our faithfulness even in, and maybe especially in, uncertain times. Now, we've done these vision campaigns over the years, and here's what I know. I stand before a group of people like you who are watching this, and I say something like, you're gonna give sacrificially, and people you've never met are gonna meet Jesus. And they're gonna get baptized, and they're gonna have their marriages healed, and they're gonna raise kids in a Christian home when it wasn't before. And kids on the other side of the world are gonna get to have food and go to school. Someone you've never met is gonna be trained up at the Grace Leadership Institute and go on to make a worldwide difference for the kingdom of God. And you're gonna have been a part of it. That's pretty cool. And I'd also remind you that a lot of you are where you are today because people you never met gave generously and sacrificially so that you could have the opportunity you have, so that you could hear the gospel, so that you could watch a service on TV, so that you could be moved to tears by that worship song and change your life as a result. Someone gave so that you could experience Christ. And now it's our turn. And so I know there are different kinds of people watching this. Some of you are brand new to Transform. You're hearing about it for the first time today. I'd encourage you to look around at the resources on the website, educate yourself a bit, and get informed. And then go to God, and if He tells you to participate, do it. There's a button at the website that says Give Now. Just click on that and choose New Pledge, and it'll walk you through the details from there. And for you Grace folks who've been part of this from the beginning, first of all, thank you. God bless you. Lives are being changed right now because of your generosity. But we'd love to hear from you too so that we can continue planning appropriately. You can also go to that Give Now button and click Update or Confirm My Pledge. And if you want to adjust the amount, we understand a lot has changed in the past 2 years, and so you can adjust it either up or down. Let us know. And if you're going to continue at your current level, you can just confirm that as well. And I'm so excited to see what God is going to do in response to our generosity. Remember, we're playing offense here. We're not shrinking back. We're taking new ground. The mission of the church is not to make sure that, things are going on okay inside our little huddle while the rest of the world goes to hell. No, the mission of the church is to locate as many people who haven't yet experienced a relationship with the living God and provide them with a compelling and meaningful opportunity to respond to His love. And I'll never be shy in asking you to give your lives and your money to that. So ask God what you should do and then do what He says. I love you guys.